video of a bandit leader showcasing the new Naira notes and even bragging to have more of it. Now, Nigerians who are working legally do not have access to this new Naira note. But this bandit leader who should be on the run is busy wielding this Naira note and even bragging to have more of it. Now, how did this Naira note get to these criminals?
Now, the truth is, like, our problems are accumulated problems. They are problems that have been in existence over the years. So every government takes the problem to a whole new dimension without providing, creative solution to the problem. I remember what Sani Abacha said. He said, for terrorism, insurgency to last for 24 hours, the government must be involved. So we have seen a lot of dramatic events in Nigeria in the last 8 years, not just 8 years, in the last 20 years. And it seems as though our problems are too complex to be solved. And it goes back to what I said. We must first build. Barack Obama said it when he first became president in his first tenure, when he went to Ghana. He refused to come to Nigeria. He said, for Africa to work, we must build functional institutions that are not built around individuals. So when you look at, a state, for instance, it's not built around the governor. Another thing is education. We don't have a level of orientation in Nigeria. Like, for instance, I told you that many of the transactions I did have not, successfully been executed. But I'm going to get my money back. How? Because I have information.
Definitely.
I know that there is a CBN policy that states that when I am debited and it is not successful, there is something I can do. But the problem with a lot of Nigerians is we don't study, we don't read, and then we make it look like the problems are too complex and they are beyond solution. So it boils down to the same thing I said from the beginning: effective functional systems and institutions, and then people must, orientation. We must learn how to study your constitution. When they tell you that there is a policy of the government, read it, but then it takes us to trust. People don't believe that any good policy can be implemented in Nigeria. So the first thing is mental orientation, because personally I believe that our biggest problem is a mental problem.
So, okay, sorry to cut you short, Francis. You said our biggest problem is a mental problem. But who do we hold responsible, or who do we drag to the psychiatric hospital now for this situation that Francis mentioned, the issue of bandits wording large amount of the new Naira notes, and they were boasting about it. So who do we hold responsible for that particular situation?
When it comes to the security architecture of Nigeria, for instance, many of us, we are actually, the truth is, as much as we have information, we are ignorant. We don't know what is going on. We just see the drama, we see the display on social media, on TV stations and all that. But when it comes to that aspect, this is what I believe: Nigeria needs a complete overhauling. That's why the next election is very monumental, is very, very important. Because things like this cannot be happening. And we have NIA, we have DSS, we have Nigerian military, we have this, and we have NIN. We have national identification number, we have BVN, and people use their phones to make phone calls, to transact, for hostage and all that, and then nobody's doing anything about it. But like I said, we are just, average citizens who don't have access to a lot of the complexities of the security situation in Nigeria. So we need a government that would say that, no, it is time to address this. Because personally, I believe this is business. At the end of the day, this terrorism is working for a lot of people in the position of power. That's one. Then two, if our mental orientation problem, because many people are disoriented in Nigeria, and that's fact. Poverty, a whole lot of things have happened over the years has constituted to this brain damage for a lot of people. If I become the president of Nigeria, for instance, to address that, and that's one of the things we're doing in Brothers Lifting Brothers Foundation, mental orientation. There are many people. Over half of the Nigerian population are suffering mental problem, and nobody is thinking about it. Because for you to exhibit some action and some behavior, it should be, it can be traced. It can only be traced to something that went wrong in your mentality.
Okay, now let's still talk about reorientation or reorienting our mental health. And you made mention of Brothers Helping Brothers
Brothers Lifting Brothers.
Okay, Brothers Lifting Brothers Foundation. That what you do is mental reorientation.
That's part of the things that we do too.
So how do you go about that? Because now, let's say we are trying to make it reach other people, like the over 200 million Nigerians that we have, but we know that not everybody is in the Lifting Brothers Foundation. So how do you go about that? And to what extent do you do that mental reorientation?
Okay, so on a small scale, what we do is, for now, there's a bigger picture, but on a small scale, we organize events, online, offline. You know, I go online most of the time to talk about consciousness. If Francis is aware, like last week Sunday we had an open house where the public could join us, where we talked about identity, knowing yourself, your mental health, your life assignments. So we have a lot of programs like that on a small scale. But on a larger scale, we're going to push a bill to the government, because the truth is, for you to deal with this mental